Buenas tardes y bienvenidos a todos. Good afternoon and welcome everyone. Welcome to a community dedicated to providing spiritual tools for living a happy and full life. And welcome to a new year, a new month, and a new annual theme. My name is Karina Shear, and I am the Spiritual Director and Founding Minister here at the Center for Spiritual Living Puerto Vallarta. If you would like more information about our center, or if you would like to become a member, please be sure to contact me for more information. Today is Saturday, January 2nd, 2021. And we are continuing with having an annual theme. This year, it is Timeless Wisdom, Evolutionary Vision. And the topic for this month of January and this first week is also Timeless Wisdom, Evolutionary Vision. Each week we open with a spiritual practice called affirmative prayer, also known as spiritual mind treatment. And this is a powerful tool and a practical tool that shifts our consciousness so that we are open and available to accept the good that is already present in our life. It aligns our thoughts with all good. So let's move into today's service with intention, as we do each week with a reading from the Creative Thought magazine. Today I'll be reading from January 2nd, 2014. And just a reminder that spiritual mind treatment is always done in the first person. So I invite you to close your eyes and take these words as your own if you so choose. Now is the time. God is the source of all good. I lean into that good and know it is infallible and unfathomable. Feet on the earth, head in the sky, I breathe in the wonder of life. I drink in the day, the light through the trees and the clouds in the sky. My spirit reverberates in gratitude for this life. I am alive and awake, and I am aware that I am a miracle. I am fully imbued with every particle of the divine. Now is the time that I claim joyous abundance. I let the miracle of life open my eyes to new wonders, new ways of seeing beyond the limitations of past thinking. Now is when I know that all my dreams, visions, and soul's callings are brought into my experience. Now my mind is made anew. Now is where I find great spirit. I breathe deep and let the goodness and miracle of my life fill my heart, lift my mind, and create such a robust energy field all around me. I spread this energetic joy to all who come into contact with me. Like a stone tossed into a pond, the ripples reach to shores beyond my sight. Indeed, I am a miracle made of particles. I am deeply grateful for the miracle of God, the miracle of me, and the miracle of now. I release my word to law, and so it is. And that was submitted by licensed practitioner Melody Velbig from Colorado, Boulder, Colorado. So now let's review our purpose, vision, and mission statements. Our purpose is to awaken and celebrate diversity and to love and serve our community. We do this through our vision, which is to educate and support each other so we can create the life we desire that works for us right now. And this is supported by our mission, which is to provide spiritual tools for personal growth and transformation. Whether this is your first time or returning to us, know that you are welcome. You are all welcome, no matter what path you are on. You are all blessed and a blessing. So thank you for joining us today. Here we teach a philosophy called the Science of Mind. It's a teaching based on new thought and ancient wisdom, and we offer spiritual tools and principles to promote personal growth. We've already experienced one of these with our opening spiritual mind treatment. And as mentioned, we honor diversity in all aspects so that we can see and appreciate the great oneness that already exists everywhere and within everyone. Each week, we offer a service with an inspirational message. And normally, this is done at a downtown Puerto Vallarta restaurant. But since we are still required to wear masks at all times outside our home, I welcome you into my home via Zoom. Mi casa es su casa. Once we are able to get back out and enjoy being amongst friends, we will post on our Facebook and website, as well as mention it here the previous week, so that you'll know when we are able to return to once again supporting our local mom and pop style traditional restaurant, where we can enjoy some homestyle Mexican cooking and have a discussion afterwards. So this year's theme, as I mentioned, is timeless wisdom and evolutionary vision. This month, we will explore the ancient and sacred wisdom that Science of Mind has drawn upon and begin to contemplate the trajectory of our movement and our individual consciousness. We stand on the shoulders of giants and see to new horizons. The fundamental principles of Science of Mind are ageless and cross many spiritual traditions. We know it is true, and we know that in our practice, we are tapping into that infinite eternal, which is God and always has been. We have the opportunity to continue evolving and expanding our vision, continually growing into something newer and bigger instead of stagnating. So, our evolutionary vision, this is our global vision, and this is what we believe. We see a world in which every person lives in alignment with his or her highest spiritual principle, emphasizing unity with God, divine energy, spirit, source, whichever term resonates with you, and connection with each other. A world in which individuality and collectively, we are called to a higher state of consciousness and action. We envision a world in which we live and grow as one global family that respects and honors the interconnectedness of all life. A world where this kinship with all life prospers and connects through the guidance of spiritual wisdom and experience. We envision a world where personal responsibility joins with social conscience in every area of the political, corporate, academic, and social sectors, providing sustainable structures to further the emerging global consciousness. And our timeless wisdom. We believe in God, the living Spirit Almighty, one indestructible, absolute, and self existence cause. This one manifests itself in and through all creation, but is not absorbed by its creation. The manifest universe is the body of God. It is the logical and necessary outcome of the infinite self-knowingness of God. We believe in the incarnation of spirit in everyone and that all people are incarnations of the one spirit. We believe in eternality, the immortality, and the continuity of the individual soul, forever and ever expanding. Spiritual humility, not spiritual arrogance, is the pathway of evolution. Ernest Holmes, in his Sermon by the Sea, said this: I would desire that in our teaching there should never be any arrogance, for it is always, sorry about that, for it always indicates spiritual immaturity to me. Others will arise who will know more than we do. I'm not sure what my presentation is doing, but it's advancing on me. So let me read that again for you. Ernest Holmes said, I would desire that in our teaching there should never be any arrogance, for it always indicates a spiritual immaturity to me. Others will arise who will know more than we do. They won't be better or worse. They will be different and know more than we do. Evolution is forward. He tells us that this is what religious science stands for. It's not a new dogmatism. It's not a new authority generated from a new alleged revelation of the God who never revealed anything to anybody as such, else he could not have revealed all things to all people. There is no special dispensation of providence, but there is a special dispensation which the great and good and wise and just have all known, even though they knew it intuitively. So let's look into 3 key points today: honor, being open, and vision. Honor. We are centered in timeless wisdom. We steep ourselves in the study and embodiment of the wisdom of all faiths and all cultures to allow ourselves a broader awareness and care of the greater reality of life. We honor the ancestry of our teaching by acknowledging the synthesis of universal teachings embodied in them. Being open. Without the grounding of timeless wisdom, we cannot open to the evolutionary pulse that is always calling us inward to a deeper part of ourselves and the upward to the greater reality of our individual and collective evolution of consciousness. We prepare ourselves by cultivating the consciousness of humility to be open to the new thing God is doing in, as, and through us and all beings. God is doing in, as, and through us as all beings. That bears need for repeat. We are all called to let go of our spiritual arrogance and to be able to perceive beyond our current perspective. Here's another quote from Ernest Holmes. He says, find me one person Find me one person who has so completely divorced himself from arrogance. Oh, this is just not being fun today. So let me just share with you. Ernest Holmes in the Sermon of the Sea said, "Find me one person who can get his own littleness out of the way, and he shall reveal to me the immeasurable magnitude of the universe in which I live." Find me one person who no longer doubts, no longer wavers, but not one who has a proclamation of superiority, says, "Look at me, I have arrived." I will not listen to that. Only that which reveals me to myself can be a message to me. Only that which gives me back to myself can save me. Only that which leads me to the God within myself can reveal God. And only that person can do it to whom the vision has come through his own efforts, through the gifts of God. Of course, the grace of God abounds by divine givingness. And our third point today is vision. There are new thinkers and spiritual teachers who know more than we and have experienced God or Spirit in deeper and more profound ways than us. We open up to the wisdom of our time that expands and amplifies the teaching of our movement in ways that we could never have imagined. In Nori Huddle's book, The Butterfly, she says this: "The caterpillar's new cells are called imaginal cells. They resonate at a different frequency. They are so totally different from the caterpillar cells that this immune system thinks they are enemies and gobbles them up. But these new imaginal cells continue to appear, more and more of them. Pretty soon, the caterpillar's immune system cannot destroy them fast enough. More and more, these imaginal cells survive. And then an amazing thing happens. The tiny little lonely imaginal cells start to clump together into friendly little groups. They all resonate together at the same frequency, passing information from one to another. Then, after a while, another amazing thing happens. The clumps of imaginal cells start to cluster together. A long string of clumping and clustering imaginal cells, all resonating at the same frequency, all passing information from one to another there inside the chrysalis. A wave of good news travels through this system. It lurches and heaves, but not yet is it a butterfly. But then at some point, the entire long string of imaginal cells suddenly realizes all together that it is something different from the caterpillar, something new, something wonderful. And in that realization is the shout of the birth of the butterfly. Since the butterfly now knows that it is a butterfly, the little tiny imaginal cells no longer have to do all those things that individual cells have to do. Now they are all part of a multi-celled organism, a family who can share the work. Each new butterfly cell can take on a different job. There is something for everyone to do, and everyone is important. And each cell begins to do just that very thing that it is most drawn to. And every other cell encourages it to do just that. A great way to organize a butterfly, and a great way to organize an organization, and a great way to organize a life. In his book, This Thing Called You, Ernest Holmes wrote, "You belong to the universe in which you live. You are one with the creative genius back of this vast array of ceaseless motion, this original flow of life. You are as much a part of it as the sun, the earth, and the air. There is something in you telling you this, like a voice echoing from some mountaintop of inward vision, like a light whose origin no man has seen, like an impulse welling up from an invisible source." He goes on to say, "Evolution is proof of an irresistible urge which pushes everything onward and upward. Man did not create life. He is something that lives in, from, and by it. He cannot escape life or the necessity of giving expression to it through living." So just like the butterfly going from the caterpillar onward and upward to a new life, a new creation, that's what we must also do. So, what better time than now, at the beginning of a fresh new year, to move onward and upward, to be the best expression of who we are? I have one more quote from Ernest Holmes from the Sermon by the Sea. He said, "Find me one person who has so completely divorced from himself all arrogance, and you will have discovered for me an open pathway to the kingdom of God here and now. Find me somebody who has detached his emotional and psychological ego from the real self without having to deny the place it plays in the scheme of things, and without slaying any part of himself, because the transcendence is there also. And I will have discovered the ineffable in this individual and a direct pathway for the communion of my own soul." So, in closing, be humble, be open, and resolve to evolve. Here's 5 suggestions that I found from Deepak Chopra on how to make this year, 2021, your reset year. Number 1, stay centered. If you find yourself being agitated or stressed or overwhelmed, take time to center yourself. Take a few deep breaths until you feel centered. Number 2, find support. This can come from family, friends, spiritual or religious groups, or support groups. Having someone that is available during good times can provide a safety net during stressful times. Number 3, value inner peace. The mind has a habit of constant activity. Overstimulation from smartphones and social media can put our nervous system into overdrive. The best remedy for this is to sit quietly with our eyes closed and learn to value our our mind's inner quiet and calmness. Number 4, raise your spiritual IQ. Practice love, compassion, empathy, creativity, devotion, and personal growth. And finally, number 5, detachment. We concentrate on doing things with a constant pressure to be fully engaged at all time. But what we need is to concentrate on just being. What a great time for meditation. All of these 5 spoke to me of meditation, a great way to get us centered, a way to find support within, to value our peace, to raise our spiritual IQ, and to detach from the rest of the world. If you would like to experience a guided meditation, or if you would like a one-on-one spiritual mind treatment, then please contact me and we can arrange for that. And now today, our affirmation is steeped in the wisdom of the ages. I humbly resolve to evolve. And now is our time for mindful giving and financial support of our spiritual home. We rely on your support to continue our center here in Puerto Vallarta so that we can continue offering this powerful teaching of the science of mind. And we bless the financial gifts that you give today. Every donation is greatly appreciated, whether it's $5 or $50 or just the cost of a cup of coffee. So at this time, we would usually pass the donation basket, but because we are online, we can direct you to our website, www.cslpv.org. And there on the landing page, you'll see a button, Donate Now. If you click on that, it will take you directly to our PayPal. So as you go to our website, please join me in saying our offertory affirmations, if you so choose. I know that my blessing, I know that my giving blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I give and receive. I do give eternal thanks for the abundance that is mine to share. And let me just check to see if that can come up. There we go. So you can also send in a check by mail to CSLPV number 403, 2125 Birch Road, Kelowna, BC, V1Y8N1. And all of this information is once again on our website, cslpv.org. So thank you for joining me here today. And thank you for overlooking the internet or technological issues with the PowerPoint. I'd like to thank everybody for showing up today. Know that you are loved and you are a blessing. Namaste.